Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I just finished watching Mission Impossible Fallout for probably the second time all the way through. This is a weird one. First of all, I kind of sort of reviewed this a year ago when I saw it the first time in theaters. It was on my other channel, which is centered around comics. So I just kind of stretched and vamped and just didn't really review. I just talked about how Ethan Hunt was a lot like Captain America. I'm not really sure I really talked about the movie that much. I just kind of generically talked about Ethan Hunt. Mission Impossible, the movies, goes in the same category with The Expendables and John Wick, in that these are franchises that I think I take too seriously. Like, these aren't just things I like. They're important to my life and like the way my philosophy. Like when I first went into the Marines, in 2000, that was the same year that Mission Impossible 2 came out, and then it came out on VHS or DVD and DVD, and I used to watch it every single day while getting ready for morning PT or getting ready to go to the field, and it was basically like my mental picture of what like a perfect soldier, marine, warrior, somebody fighting for their country would be like. I think you're just supposed to go see them on a Friday or Saturday with your friends and maybe catch it on cable a couple times. I don't think you're supposed to take Mission Impossible movies as seriously as I do. So I absolutely love the movies. I've seen every single one in the theaters multiple times, some literally dozens of times. Mission Impossible 2 I've probably seen 30 to 40 times. This one's weird because I only saw it one time in theater. I wasn't deployed. I wasn't poor, too poor to afford a movie. But I only saw it once. And then it's on Amazon Prime Video. Hashtag Team Amazon Prime Video. Hashtag Netflix is trash. It took me like about 2 weeks to get all the way through it. First of all, I will say this is a bit arbitrary because some people like different lengths of movies, but obviously over 80 years of cinema, 2 hours has typically been the standard. I like movies to be 2 hours. If you can be shorter than 2 hours, that's actually a plus to me. I once saw this movie, PCU, in the mid-1990s, and I swear that movie was like 80 minutes or something like that. Like, I left the theater in the middle of the day, and the sun was basically at the same point in the sky. It was kind of weird, but kind of cool. So this movie is about 2.5 hours, and I have never... you watch the director's commentary, you read the behind the scenes, whatever, and you're like, oh, the original cut of, Batman Begins was 27 hours long. And you're like, oh, wow, how'd they cut so much stuff? Dude, never in the history of film has a movie so obviously had an extra 30 minutes in it than Mission Impossible Fallout. It's a fairly simple story that was spoiled in the trailer. You knew, spoiler, a year later, you knew Henry Cavill was going to be the bad guy. And it's kind of, we got to get to the bomb and do this with the bomb and something about the nuclear peptides or whatever the hell you call those things. And it's a pretty simple story about a nuclear bomb that has to be disarmed in time. That being said, and the other thing is it has the most trash stunts I've ever seen in the movie. Now, they're like legit stunts, but I didn't find them interesting at all. And again, this is from someone who loves the movies, who takes them way too seriously. Is just like the big stunts here are Tom Cruise runs across rooftops in Paris and then he jumps between two of them and he broke his ankle in real life. He also does a halo jumping. It's supposed to be over Paris. I think he was in Dubai or he was somewhere in the Middle East. That was real. That looks fake. Like all of the scenes seem to me, pixelated and lower resolution than every other scene. I saw it and I didn't really watch the behind the scenes and I just assumed it was all done in some, you got the big fan on the ground and they put the green screen. No, he actually jumped out of like a freaking real plane like 150 times. It doesn't look real. Like, what's the point? It looks fake. And then the other one is he climbs up a rope underneath the helicopter. I don't know why. I just didn't find that interesting at all. The ones that I found really interesting was like from the last movie, Rogue Nation, when he's on the outside of that giant what's it, cargo plane. That to me was frickin' cool. That was my favorite stunt ever. So the movie after the movie with the best stunt ever, and like I just feel like 30 minutes of this is just, oh, and then he flies a helicopter for real, which I think was cool to him. I mean, it's legitimately cool. If your friend was in his mid-50s, I just learned how to fly helicopters. I was flying them in the Alps. You're like, oh, cool. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't interesting to me. That being said, I really do like this film. For people who aren't into the Mission Impossible movies, the original shtick was that they were going to have a completely different tone and a different director for every single movie. For the first three, that was true. And then the fourth one was pretty similar to the third. The fifth one really wasn't that different than the fourth. And then the fifth and the sixth were written and directed by the same guy, although cinematography does look different. The last one had very bright colors, and this one's very dour. So this is... How do you even describe a movie you just watched over a span of 2 weeks? I caught it. It's on like every flight I've been on over the last year. So there are some scenes that I've seen like 10 times, but I've only seen it all the way through. Solomon Lane, the villain from 5, he's being he gets rescued by his old group. They steal some nuclear material to do some bombs. And then, you can't explain these movies. I've seen this movie twice. There are still scenes. No, I think I maybe saw it 3 times all the way through. There are still scenes where I was like, okay, this person is the undercover triple agent to the double agent. I don't know. It's cool. Henry Cavill is excellent. There's a point where his face gets horribly burned, and you kind of know he's not gonna be. You can tell he's gonna die. You only kind of like ruin a character like that, an actor like that, if his character is going to die. Nobody wants to see Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible 7 with half of his face all burnt up. He's not that kind of guy. You want him to be Mr. Cool. So he's introduced as the CIA's version of Ethan Hunt, except for he just kills people. His director, Angela Bassett, says, you like a scalpel, I prefer a hammer. They've really gone away from the masks, and there's a fun bit where what's his name? August Walker is Henry Cavill's character. He's a great character. Henry Cavill is just freaking probably. They always say Tom Cruise is the last real movie star. I don't think Henry Cavill is quite a movie star, but he's just great in everything. So his character is kind of, a little smug. And he has this bit where he always introduces himself to people, and nobody cares. He's just a stooge that works for Angela Bassett, CIA director. Like, they don't care. All the people in the Impossible Mission and the MI6, they're just like, whatever, you're just an errand boy. So he's, at one point it looks like he's the main bad guy. It's actually Solomon Lane. He's working for Solomon Lane. There's just a lot of twisteroos again. Describing a Mission Impossible movie after you saw it is, I don't know. I can describe the second one really well. I mean, I've seen it like 40 times. The third one? Yeah, I can't describe the fourth one at all. I just remember Ethan Hunt at the end gets in a fight with like a 65-year-old man in a car park. Right? Was that it? Yeah, I don't like 4. I don't like 4. Oh, so if I always do this rundown, so what are my favorites? Obviously I've seen them over the last 25 years, so my tastes change. I would say right now Rogue Nation is my favorite. Mission Impossible 2 is my second favorite. 3 is my third favorite. Then I'd go to Fallout. Then I'd go to 1, and then I go to whatever the fourth, Ghost Protocol. Yeah, that would be it. So overall, definitely recommend. I don't think no, actually, there is still this very strong contingent of people who just refuse to see Tom Cruise movies. I have lots of, actually, seems like the majority of my friends are Tom Cruise haters. Tom Cruise is very like love him or hate him. People have very strong reactions to him. I think he's awesome. Although honestly, I really only watch his Mission Impossible movies. Like all his other stuff, I don't care about Days of Thunder or Top Gun or Risky Business or whatever. What other movies does he make? The Mummy? I didn't care about that. I just like the Mission Impossible movies. I watched them for like 25 years or whatever. 23, 24 years, whatever. I've been watching them for a while. And I remember like 10 years, they're like, oh, he's getting a little old. He's 44. Whatever. He's going to be doing this stuff till he's freaking 75. He's in freaking fantastic shape, and I believe he's made out of rubber. He doesn't age. He seems to get in better shape as he gets older. He's 10 years older than me. He looks 20 years younger. This is actually has some kind of deep lore in it. It's probably hard to jump into this movie if you haven't seen, Michelle Monaghan from 3 and 4, and actually that's all you really need to know. Yeah, they catch you up. All right, there's a whole scene where Luther just tells, oh God, what's her name? What's the British female agent's name? She actually has a really cool name. It's actually kind of a funny name, like it's silly. Like it's obviously like I'm a spy type of name. But definitely recommend. Go see it. It's probably best to see it if you rewatch 5, because 5 and 6 are essentially one story, and apparently 7 it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 one big story. And I think they might even wait. Are they doing like filming 2 at a time? I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, that's awesome. I freaking love these movies. But go check it out. Mission Impossible Fallout. Thanks for watching. And the next movie I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Star Trek Discovery. That's when I drink whiskey and watch Star Trek, and it's gonna be one of those trash TNG movies. I think I'm gonna start with Insurrection because it's the shortest one, and that's about all I can stand right now, pretty much. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.